What's the matter, royal families and royal viewers? Seeing things? Oh, I bet they see you too! Well, episode 7 was pretty peak, so I had to get into character. So, without further ado, let's get straight into the spoiler review. So, this is my spoiler warning for episode 7 of Welcome to Derry. Scary. Hi. Hello, Haley Mention and Justin. Welcome to the live stream. Anyway, what do you think of my makeup? Pretty sick, right? Anyways, on to the spoiler review. Shall we? Okay, so the opening of the episode was very good. Because honestly, I love the flashback with Bob Gray and Ingrid Kirsch when they joined the circus. Awesome makeup. Thank you. I worked very hard on it. It took me like an hour to try to get it done. So, the flashbacks is Kirsch and Bob Gray. It's like the real Pennywise. Yeah, I know. So basically, the flashback scene is what got me very interested. Because, alright. So the flashback scene of Bob Gray and Mrs. Kirsch was very good. Not gonna lie, it was very good to start off its backstory. So like, Pennywise is like one of those silent clowns that goes like... Yeah, those type of clowns. Like, think of Art the Clown. He has never spoke in one of his films. That's the kind of clowns Pennywise is. But he doesn't carry a trash bag of weapons. He just performs. And then, of course, we... notice that he had a tragic backstory. And that tragic story is that Bob Gray's wife died. And her name was Periwinkle. I think that's what he said. So he decided to name Ingrid Kirsch's clown name after her wife. So, of course, Periwinkle actually kind of accepts it because it kind of reminds her of her mother. So, then of course we head to the nighttime. Is it just me, or is Pennywise more scarier in It Welcome to Derry than the It movies? Yeah, I know, he's pretty hardcore. Bill Skarsgård did say that this show is much more disturbing than It 1 and It 2. So, of course, Bob Gray, before he performs for the circus, he was smoking and drinking alcohol, and of course a kid, which happens to be It, draws him into a forest, and Bob's like, "What are you doing? Show's that way. Scram!" And of course, the kid was like, "Are children always drawn to you?" And Bob Gray's like, "What kind of child ever asked me that question?" And after hearing screaming, of course, Bob Gray went with the kid, which was actually It, and then never saw him again. And of course, Ingrid Kirsch was very heartbroken to hear that his father died in the middle of the forest. And then we cut to present day, where the black spot happens. Where apparently Clint Bowers, who got fired from his job, decided to grab a gang of people to the black spot, and he tells those people partying, "You give us Hank Rogan's, and we go away, and you guys can enjoy your party." But of course, that ends up backfiring, because Hank Rogan's was gonna try to turn himself in, but of course those people pull out their guns and be like, "Well, what do you know? We have guns too. So why don't you just skedaddle and pretend none of this ever happened?" And of course, Clint Bowers is like, smart people. Smart people. Come on, let's get out of here. Which we thought they were actually going to get away, but they lied. Because apparently they chained these people into the black spot and started lighting the entire place on fire. Which gives birth to the Black Spot Fire from 1962. Like, if you remember, if you've watched the first two It films, the Black Spot Fire did happen on 1962. I'm excited for Christmas. Me too, Haley. So, yeah, the Black Spot Fire. So, yeah, of course, that gives birth to the Black Spot Fire that happened in 1962. If you've heard from It Chapter 1, and you notice Ben said something about stuff that like this keeps happening every 27 years, well, we saw one of them, which is the Black Spot Fire. And of course, these people were panicking, shooting, dying, slashing. Like, I don't know what's going on in this. And of course, a girl tries to get away so much. And then Dick Halloran starts seeing one of those dead people, and the Native American chief wearing a bear outfit. I don't know what he was wearing, maybe a bear skin. And a woman was panicking and lands near a chair. As well as I didn't watch it because I am 11 years old. Well, that's okay. Now, hopefully you get a chance to watch it. So, of course the woman was panicking and starts laying next to a chair. But the moment we saw Pennywise walking through the ashes, like doing his iconic Pennywise walk, like just hopping and skipping towards the lane, being like, hold on, let me get my gloves because I want to oops, I dropped a glove. Like a glove. I don't like horror movies. Well, it's okay. Like, I only like It, Child's Play, Halloween, and hopefully Scream. I think that's what I meant. So yeah, Pennywise walks over to the woman being like, take my hand. I know a way out. But, was he actually going to show the way out? Nope. Yeah. Ronnie runs into him, eating the face, and he was like, what's the matter? Do I have a face on my face? And honestly, that was the most disturbing thing I have ever seen. I mean, it is true that they said that the show is more disturbing than the movies, but I mean, they have to show more of the history of Derry and Pennywise. And that Dick Halloran also sees Pennywise as she's protecting Ronnie. And Pennywise was like, what's the matter? Seeing things? Oh, I bet they see you too! As he starts laughing, and a bunch of dead zombies started walking behind Pennywise. And I was like, ooh, that shot looks good. That's a good shot. Like, you gotta, you guys gotta agree with me. That is one of the most insane shots ever. And he asked the Native American chief, where are the kids? I need to get them out of here. And of course, one of them managed to get out, but Marge and Richie were still trapped. And Rich gets Marge into the refrigerator, and then Rich pulls off a Richie and Stanley Uris move where he just sacrificed himself just to save Marge's life. Like, bro, really? That's how we're doing this? We're pulling off a Richie and Eddie. We're pulling off a Stanley and Eddie thing from It Chapter 2 into this series? Like, really? Are we seriously going to be doing that again? And of course, Rich has his last moment with Marge, telling her about how he felt for her. And they share their feelings with each other about nights and stuff. And the smoke starts covering up, and then R.I.P. to Rich. Big R.I.P. to Rich in the chat. Big R.I.P. to my man Rich. Like, I was hoping for him to survive and be Richie's dad. Well, he's dead. So, yeah, of course, Ingrid's husband was a part of the Black Spot Fire. He tries to drive away, but of course, Ingrid was dressed up as Periwinkle, right? having a little chat with him, and the husband's like, "What are you doing? You get out of here and go home and take that ugly costume off and make me a sandwich." And then Ingrid goes, "Hello, Papa." And then the most insane shot is, of course, Pennywise coming up right behind him and goes like, "Hey, you abused my daughter, so you know what? Time to grab your head and just like that." Like, I was like, have we ever seen him use weapons? There's no way Pennywise ever used a weapon in the It films. That is not how it happened in the book and in the film. And then, of course, Pennywise, like always, starts feeding on the head as he takes a slurp and bite on the head. And I was like, ew, bro, go somewhere else and eat that. No one wants to hear you slurping and eating. And of course, Ingrid tells him about how she knew he would come. And Pennywise was like, show me the bow. Because just like in the opening, he tells her to show the bow, and she did, and now she did it a second time, this time with the real It. And most importantly, Pennywise was like, ooh, when she did the horn and the bow, and he was like, come to Papa. And they share a nice hug with each other for their reunion. And of course, Pennywise says, you did good. You did really good. Now it's time for me to sleep. But don't worry, I'll be back. I always do. And of course, Ingrid tries to stop him from getting away this time. Yeah, saying, please don't leave me. And of course, Pennywise does that. Yeah. And of course, Pennywise smells the fear. Of course, Pennywise smells the fear in Ingrid about losing her dad again. And of course, Pennywise turns that frown upside down. And Ingrid now realizes that that's not his dad. It's actually a monster that took control of his entire body. And of course, Pennywise toys with her, being like, oh, look, your father, he wants to come out. He wants to come out to play. And he's like, oh, look at my face, surprise. Surprise, deadlights. Yeah, Pennywise shoots the deadlights at Ingrid as she floats into the air. And then we cut to when the black spot finally stops being set on fire. And of course, we get a sad goodbye to our new member, Rich. As he's being dragged away. And of course, some insane lady in the background was laughing. And I thought that was it, but no, she's in hypothermia, I think. So what we actually do get is that Dick Halloran noticed that Pennywise has went to sleep and is willing to try to go after it again. Or did he? So of course, Ronnie and Marge both head to Lily's place because Lily still has the shard of its meteor from the last 2 episodes. And of course they told Lily the sad news about Rich's death. And I feel really bad for Rich. Like, bro, he was a really good character and they decided to kill him off. Like, really? This is just like Stanley Urs and Eddie Casbret all over again from It Chapter 2. So, yeah. This is a pretty sick type of thing to do. Yeah. And, so what we do notice is that, of course, what else do I remember from it? So Pennywise is asleep, but apparently his sleep doesn't last a little longer. Last time, you know what I would do to Pennywise? What would you do to him? So, yeah, what does end up happening is that the military actually found one of the next pillars, and starts being like, ooh, a pillar. You know what? Let's take that to the base and destroy it. And of course, no, I think David is his name, who was telling us the origin story of Pennywise in episode 4. He'll go flying. Yep, possibly. So, yeah, one of the pillars have been found, and that guy's like, Auntie or Mama, I think we got a problem. They found one of the other pillars. I think they're trying to break the curse again. So, yeah, they do try to destroy the pillar, but Leroy Hanlon came in with a blinky, and it's like, shut it down! Shut it down right now! Like, you shut it down right now. Are you feeling lucky? And of course, the general is like, Leroy, come to my office. We really need to discuss about this. Because it's not about Asia or one of the other states that they're going up against. It's about the entire state of the United States. And he thinks that the only way people in the United States will listen is fear. Because that's why they're trying to weaponize Pennywise, to use it against everyone, I think. I think that's what I probably heard. So, of course, they go back to trying to melt the pillar. But of course, Leroy pulls the gun on the general, being like, stop! Shut it down right now. And the pillar gets destroyed. Why? Because there was another guy right behind him pointing the gun at Leroy, and they decide to dump it in some lava. Military. Those people, bro. Those innocent people are gonna die because of your actions, people. I mean, seriously, just stop trying to weaponize this thing and just leave it alone. So, yeah, they try. And the general tells the other soldier to make sure Leroy Hanlon does not leave the military base. Which, I have a feeling what could possibly happen in episode 8. Which is the military trying to betray Leroy Hanlon because Leroy wants to prevent Pennywise from waking up again. So, yep, we zoom into the sewers. Pennywise is asleep into some blood and corpses, I think. He's sleeping there. Half his face is just... And then all of a sudden he wakes up like... Like, I can tell in his reaction, he's like, what the heck? Has it been 27 years already? What happened? I'm supposed to be asleep. And of course, the final shot we get of episode 7 is, of course, Will Hanlon at the house. But not just him in the house, a certain someone that we know is in the house with him. So Ronnie does try to... So Will gets a call from Ronnie as she is crying about how Rich died and said a weird thing like, oh, his death makes my mouth wire. And I was like, is that Pennywise or is it just Ronnie? Because I'm not sure if she'll ever say that. And, of course, it was actually Pennywise. Yeah, and Will's like, I'm not afraid of you! You're not gonna scare me this time! And Penny is like, oh, pick up! I can't understand that. And as Will turns around, yes, Pennywise is on top of his refrigerator, jumps down, hits Will with the deadlights, and then that's how the episode ends. Like, I was like, really? Really, Pennywise? You were just right there waiting for him to turn around this entire time? Like, you could have went back to sleep and ignored that, and just for you to be right there waiting for him to turn around? Like, seriously? Just like that? And that's pretty much it. That's all we got for episode 7. We finally got to see the Black Spot fire. Ingrid Kirsch and Will gets hit with Pennywise's deadlights. A bunch of people got brutally murdered in the Black Spot. And I think it's Clint Bowers. He could possibly be Henry Bowers' great-grandfather. or just grandfather, I think. So yeah, I think his grandfather. So I think that the sheriff is actually Henry Bowers' grandpa, and his grandpa caused the Black Spot fire. Now we know why Henry Bowers gets his killing problems from his grandpa. So basically, Henry Bowers gets his killing problems from his grandpa. Not just his abusive dad, but related to his grandpa. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyway, I'm really excited for episode 8. I can't believe we're almost the end of season 1. And I can't believe we're almost about time to wait for season 2. If anything, I just really hope we get to see more often. Like, when the series was first announced, it was supposed to be 9 episodes, not 8. So I guess they decided to shorten it up a bit. But yeah, but anything, I just really wish that the series was much more longer about it. I'm hyped for Christmas again. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what we got. And maybe somewhere around Christmas or the week before Christmas break, I might do my plushie video of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Or the spoiler review for Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the movie. Since I've seen the movie. And, yep, that's it for episode 7 of Welcome to Derry. We're almost the end of season 2. Hopefully not season... Why do I keep saying the end of season 2? Season 1. We're almost to the end of season 1. And hopefully we don't have to wait too long for season 2. Monarch Legacy of Monsters season 2 comes out in 2 months. I just hope we don't wait very long for season 2 of Welcome to Derry. So yeah, that's all we got for today, folks. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below what you're excited to see next for the final episode, if you're going to watch it, and what you think of this episode so far, because I actually enjoyed it. Like, the build up we got for this season, I'll sleep. Yeah, you go ahead and do that, because this series is about to close. Peace. Anyway, I'm Titanus Fully, and I'll see you for the review for Welcome to Derry.